Welcome everybody to the No Wasta Needed podcast. This is episode 5, right? 5. At some point, I want us to get to a point we don't have enough fingers to actually, we're going to get there, inshallah.
Eventually, inshallah.
Episode 5, we're in the building. We always said we have a special guest. We really do this time as well. We know her pretty well, but we're going to have her get to know you as well. Before we get into the crux of everything, you got a couple things to say, all right?
Oh, shout outs.
Yeah, so first and foremost, you see it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what camera you're catching it from, but you see it here. This is the No Wasta Needed podcast, and this is presented by Qatar, all right? We're also in the share properties, and Workington is here. It's the location. So we're giving up all the location. Don't come see us when we're doing this live, you know what I mean? But we're doing this here. So that's the first thing. Second thing, for you guys on YouTube, we had to timestamp this episode, all right? So you can surf through as much as you want throughout the whole interview. You don't got to worry about it from start to finish. You can wash your clothes, you can wash the dishes, you can just let it play in the background, however you want to do it. But it is, I mean, that's what I do. Washing my clothes, I'm listening to something in the background, you know, I'm just moving around the house, you know.
I get you.
So that's what I do. I don't know how you do. That's how you do. You know what I mean? But you can do that, so it's for your viewing pleasure, all right? All the timestamps and things like that. And as I always forget, I'm not going to forget this time because they always remind me. Like, comment, subscribe, and share, right? Did I get that?
Yeah, you got it.
All right, cool.
Like, comment.
What's the most important one they need to do?
You gotta share.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Share is the
That's a
most
fact.
common.
Talk about engagement. That's your tuition, all right?
Bro.
Me ain't asking you for nothing. That's your tuition.
And your homework.
You did? You're a teacher. That's why he said that. You're a teacher.
I had to.
Yeah, facts. But look, all right. Anything else that I missed? Because I always miss something. I'm gonna come to you for that. Anything else that I missed?
So who we are, man. Did you
Who
know
that?
that? So you are who I am.
Oh, the Expat Bros.
Expat Bros.
You see it? You already know.
You already know.
You're here because of that. But you know what I mean? Episode 5. You so happy. Now, after all that is said, we really have a special guest. She's from my home state in the U.S. of A.
Jersey.
So you already know we won't bring it today.
Jersey.
That was a bar.
I was
Heaven say today.
Today. I felt that one.
It's in our blood. Green Latifah, Shaquille O'Neal.
I'll show your age.
Oh.
Bring it back. Show your age.
That's all right. Red man.
What do they know about Wu-Tang?
I don't know. You do your research. Do your research. You know what I'm saying? We've got a special guest, from New Jersey, but she's here in Qatar. Spent a lot of time here doing wonderful things in this country. That's why we're here, to tell the stories of expats. This is Ophelia Johnson. How you doing today?
Thank you. Honestly, I'm so honored to be here with you guys.
Same.
To have this conversation this month.
Thank you. Now, I'm not Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp does some wonderful. But I tried to, the way I know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully you liked it,
You're good.
You definitely. They're going to get to know who you are. They're going to like what they hear, inshallah. But wanted to open up this first question. It's pretty simple, going to be straightforward. But I know it's open-ended. All right? Talk to us about childhood in America. Parents, family, the lessons that were cultivated during the grow-up, during the rearing of Ophelia Johnson. So talk to us about that.
What you got me on?
Oh,
Ophelia Johnson?
yeah. Ophelia Johnson, yeah, got you.
Yeah.
No other additives.
There's no other.
No other additives.
The additives are being taken
Right,
off.
slash.
Yeah, no more
Boom.
slash
Yeah.
or additives.
See, I said it right.
No, you're right.
Yeah, but the government, right?
Yeah.
Everybody check.
Yeah.
I ain't say her birthday. So don't hear me doing. But you know that beat. Birthday, you can search everything, right? But you gonna say that? Ophelia Johnson, man. You give
No, my bad. You got it. My bad.
We'll talk.
Anyways,
We'll talk.
yeah, sorry.
But Ophelia Johnson, all right?
The floor is yours.
Floor is yours. Talk to us about the beautiful state of New Jersey, the upbringing, and it's not also all New Jersey, but
Not all New Jersey.
right? So all right, so go ahead.
It's okay.
Yeah.
No, I was born and raised in Florida, pretty much, and then I went to high school and college. Yes, went to high school and college in New Jersey. So I spent most of my teenage adult life in New Jersey.
Yes.
So both places are like home to me.
Yes.
But Jersey is very dear to me. Florida, I feel kind of distant. There's a distance there. I have my college friends, Muslim friends, people who I really became who I am with in New Jersey. So that's why for me it's more like home.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Florida.
Yeah.
Do you remember a lot about Florida?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's it? Okay. I have to ask now. She set me up. She's like, you know, somebody said, well, yeah, okay, good. Ask me that question. Ask me.
She knew before you asked.
Yeah, she
knew. She's as a matter of fact, I got you.
So I'm gonna give you what you want. How was your time in Florida, and what do you remember the most about that time? Go. Yeah.
Florida was, it's weird. As a kid, I hated it, because I grew up on the farm. So everything we had, we grew, or we had animals that we killed and ate, and that was it.
Right.
You went to the store for sugar and flour, but that's about it. So we had, I'm Muslim now, but I wasn't Muslim back then. We had a pig pen, we had horses, we had cows. We grew all of our vegetables, chicken coop, we had dogs, everything. So as a kid, you wake up in the morning, you go outside, you're picking the eggs, eating the chickens, you're doing all your chores before you even get on the bus to go to school.
Wow.
So can you imagine? So you're doing all this stuff, 5 o'clock in the morning, you're up, then after you finish your chores, you feed the hogs, you do all that stuff. Then you go, you take your shower, you wash up, and you sit, you have breakfast, and then you catch the bus, you go to school. You come home from school, you've got to do your homework, and then you have to do your evening chores, and you are not allowed in the house. Like, we did not go and sit in the house and watch TV. There was no such thing. We were on our ATVs and go-karts and bicycles, riding around farm, doing both.
It's not living.
That was living.
That's living.
It was living.
That's living.
That's existing.
That was life. And it was amazing. Like, when I look back, I'm like, that was so amazing. But as a kid, the only fun we had was when we got to ride the go-karts and the ATVs around the lands and stuff to see, check for this, check this. Grandfather said, go over there and do this, go around the corner and talk to so-and-so. And so, that was the only fun we had.
Right.
But when I look back, catching snakes and grasshoppers and frogs and stuff, it was fun for us, these kids. Like, that was fun,
Now, so back then, did you live like amongst like other family members? Like, did you have like a row of family that was down the street, and grandfather was here, mom and was here, dad was here, cousins and.
So my grandfather bought 5 acres of land, and his dream was to have all of his girls on each acre, and so it was called Johnson Quarters.
That's how to be.
So their house was here, my auntie's house was here, my mom's house would have been there if she had stayed, if she didn't want to stay in Florida. My other auntie lived over here, and then I had another auntie lived there, but she worked in another town, so she was never really there. But all the grandkids were there. So all 13 of us were there with my grandparents, between my 2 aunties. And it was wonderful, because we always had each other. We didn't need to play with anybody else. We had a pool, we had everything you needed, and so life was good, But we were excited when we go to town and my grandmother would always treat us with a Kit Kat. So you'd be, yeah, and they would, what you trying to say?
No. No.
Wow.
I gotta set myself up for now.
That was your info.
But but you never knew how Kit Kat.
They had Kit Kats back in the.
He said, "I said, wow."
I didn't say such a thing, man. That was your. I didn't say anything.
No, but you never know.
But
Like,
back then, honestly, they were only 2. You only got 2, and they were about like this big. They were really small.
oh, really?
Yeah, they were really
So
small.
not like they weren't today.
No, there were 4. They're 2 pieces.
Oh, that's it.
That's it. And I think the bar was like that big.
Wow.
And so you'd be so happy because, oh my God, we're going to have chocolate. Like, we didn't eat junk food. We just ate fruits, vegetable, rabbit, turtle, whatever they call it. We ate. That was it. Possum, whatever.
So it was the true essence of farm to table, not like today now they say is this organic, but it was truly organic back then.
There was no such thing as organic.
Yeah,
The word organic didn't exist.
right. Nobody talked about organic like.
What you get, what you eat.
Whatever you caught is what you
Yeah,
We go fishing, you catch the fish, you eat it that night.
Right.
You kill the hog, you cut it in half, take all the parts, you cook, clean all the parts, and eat all of it.
For sure, if you're hungry, you don't care.
Eat everything,
You don't care.
Wow.
So it was wonderful,
That's crazy. People don't understand how big the States is, right?
Yeah.
They don't understand. States is like its own, like, each state is its own country.
Basically, yeah.
So, going from Florida to now to Jersey, and you have this like country mindset, and now you go to Jersey, which is urbanized.
Yeah.
How did that change your identity?
Oh, I think that was the part that kind of broke me. to be honest. I would say that that's the part where I started to not understand about myself. My self-identity was bruised, and I didn't feel like I was good enough at that point. Like I really lost a lot of myself, because when you're growing up with your family and everybody loves you, you know, like everybody loves you. And even when you go visit other friends or family or whatever, everybody loves you. And it's like, oh, my little chocolate bunny, you know, like I was like the darkest one in my family. So I was like the chocolate bunny, and everybody called me chocolate bunny, or, you know, my little chocolate princess, or my little raisin cup, or whatever, you know. There was always like these loving terms. But then you move to a place, and you have to understand, like, okay, so I am older than both of you. So you have to understand that in that time, the town I lived in was called Cloiston. The white people that's here, black people that's here. Okay, the whites and the blacks were separated by a railroad track. These are the only people I'd ever seen in all my life were white and black, but I'd never seen anybody different than that. Now, we didn't live in that because we, like I said, we grew up on the farm just outside of town. So we had Johnson quarters outside town. But we would often go, my school was on the black side. You know, didn't go to school with any white kids, only black kids. So this is all I know. All I know are black people. And the white people I see, I'm not really, you know, there's no interaction really except from who I found out was actually my cousin, because there was a lot of mixing in my family. So my cousin's this white police officer that used to come and have, you know, lunch with my grandmother. And I always come home from school and see his car there. She's sitting there cooking for him. And I sit mad because I didn't understand. He's actually family. Like, that's her sister's son.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
But he's white.
See.
That's crazy. But, you know, you get older, you can start learning about all these. Oh, that was Auntie so-and-so's son. Oh, okay. But see, you couldn't talk about that. Yeah, still because that's a white man.
New topics.
And you don't talk about whose mama is, because that get them in trouble. Because he's casting. Okay? So now I go to Jersey, and there's all these different beautiful people who are completely different than me. I'm the darkest person there. There's mixed people, there's Spanish, there's Asian. I've never seen these people before. So this is really, really new for me. So, you know, you go into this atmosphere of where you're not really accepted by the black people because you're dark skinned. And then the white people are accepting you, but you've only known them to be racist. So how are you accepting me, and what do I have to give you for you to be my friend? So it's such a huge dynamic. It's such a twist in my reality, moving from one place to another, because I'm supposed to be with you, but you don't want me. And I'm not supposed to be with you because you don't like me, but you're accepting me. You're inviting me over. We're hanging out together. We're having fun together, and you're my friends. It was very strange. And so it caused a lot of, you know, distortion in my mind of who I am, where I belong, how I saw myself. You know, I'm not good enough. Having people say, you know, boys mostly, because, you know, at that age, high school, you want to have a boyfriend, you want to date, things like that. And having say, oh, you're pretty for a dark-skinned bro. But I don't date dark-skinned bros. You know?
So where do you fit in?
You don't.
You don't.
You don't.
You have to be your own space.
Yeah.
So what did you do with that information? What did you do with that reality?
Well, I had an absolutely wonderful mentor. Her name is Mrs. Wilson, and she was a teacher.
Shout out Mr. Wilson.
So she's passed since, but she was such an inspiration for me. And I'm sorry. I spent a lot of time at her house. I spent a lot of time with her, and she just taught me a whole different way of looking at life. She's the one who instilled in me that no matter what people think of you, you are beautiful. And you have to understand that. She said, I can tell you all day, but you have to believe that. And I never believed it. God, she just said that because she, you know, likes me, and she was an older woman. She was my teacher, and she cared about me. But she's the one who put the fire under me to travel, to do different things, to look at life differently. So I was grateful for her. I didn't have a whole plethora of friends. I had people who I would hang out with sometimes. My mom was extremely strict. Like, there was no dating. There's no going to the movies. There's no sleepovers. You are to be in the house before the sun goes down. You have to take care of your brother, and that's it. Like, that's your life. So there's no going out. There's no doing anything other girls around me are having babies, and she was like, oh no, absolutely not. Yeah, she kept me grounded.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah,
None of those shows existed back then. After like none of them.
yeah,
But if her mom didn't exist, then that show would have happened earlier.
yeah. Yeah, because I was like, boss, you're looking for
You know what I'm saying?
acceptance. You're looking so hard for acceptance. You're not getting it.
A young teenager with options, man.
What year was this with Mrs. Wilson? Like where you?
So
Yeah,
that would be 19.
Well, let's say grade. What grade or like how old were you at that
So
time?
I was in, so I remember, I think it was like 7th or 8th grade.
Okay.
So I really started being with Mrs. Wilson every day after school when I was about 7th or 8th grade, I think it was. And then that's like, and then that's what we call junior high.
Yeah, back then.
Yeah, so it's like
Went to
junior
ninth grade and then went to high school.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. And so then when I got to high school, like she would tutor me with my English and everything, but it wasn't even really about tutoring as much as it was just about being with her.
The mentoring,
Yeah.
the role model.
Yeah. Because see, my mom worked and she worked 2 jobs and she was never really bored. She was just working. So it was like just me and my brother. And so I had to play mom to my little brother. And
You're the oldest or the
the
best?
oldest, yeah. So my mom just had the 2 of us.
Aren't you the oldest of one?
The eldest, yeah.
What is that like being the eldest? Can both of you?
I know, actually, before you answer the question,
Yeah.
first of all, shout out to Miss Wilson, number 1. And rest her soul.
100.
You know, me and Hamza, we had this discussion in regards to teachers, and teachers, not because I'm one, but I am one, but teachers, they spend more time with students than most parents. All parents, right? So I think most people can probably count on their hands like 5 teachers in their entire lifetime, from grade school all the way to like university, that like was monumental in some kind of impact in your life. You know? So it's always important for an educator, because you don't know who you're going to change life or whatever advice you're going to pass on, because that simple advice she gave you, she probably was probably doing it out of the defense of her heart, but she didn't know that it would be so impactful to this part of your journey. So today,
Do teachers ever really know?
no, they don't.
You don't really know until later on.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never.
You may not find out.
You will never find out.
That's true.
You will never find out. Maybe you'll find out on your deathbed, like
Yeah.
if they come to or at someone's wedding or whatever, but they'll never know.
I mean, I'd say this. My mother, she was a teacher for at least 20 years. And I had her old students reach out to me to find where my mom was.
Yeah.
And she connected with some of her students just because I used to go with her to school.
Yeah.
And so they were like, okay, I know his name. So my mom's not on social media, let me go, so
Really connects.
she didn't know the impact until later on, that they still, the 20, 30 years later, trying to find her and say thank you. And now she's calling them, they have a conversation, they go to lunch, like,
It's beautiful.
it's a beautiful situation, you know what I mean?
Because it's like a second parents.
Yeah, it is. It's
So you try your best.
So this is the thing, to kind of backtrack for the reason why I know a lot of the Black American families went from the South to the North for job opportunity.
Yeah.
Is that the reason why your family moved up north to New Jersey?
Yeah, so my mom's sister had moved up there and she was working for a company and she told my mom to come. And my parents basically had broken up. So it was kind of like, okay, I'm going to go up here.
Yeah.
But in order to do that, she couldn't take me with her because, how was she going to survive with a kid, by herself? So she left me there with my grandparents. And then I was able to get my grandparents and my dad, and, all that stuff like that. So it was like sometimes I was with him, sometimes I was with them, back and forth when I was younger. But then, she tried to take me. It was really difficult for her, so she would send me back, she just couldn't do it.
How did that impact you in terms of you growing up and kind of oscillating between different family members? And granted that she was trying to make something happen,
Yeah.
but she couldn't at that moment with you at that time. How would
I
that?
think, I think as parents, you do things to your children and you don't realize the impact. But I think the biggest impact for me was really the feeling of being abandoned. And so I carried with me a lot of abandonment issues as I got older because, I know she was, but, now I'm older, I say, okay, I give her grace for what she did. But it's like, at the same time, it's like, she would send money for me and these massive like doll houses and whatever I wanted and bikes and all this stuff. I didn't want that stuff. I just wanted her.
Yeah, that's deep.
Do you know what I mean? Like she felt like, well, what did she say she wanted for Christmas?
Yeah.
And my auntie was like, oh, just buy her a dollhouse. And then I see my auntie sitting on the floor putting together this wooden dollhouse all by herself. And it took her like 3 months to put that thing together. It was so beautiful. I never played with this. That's not what I wanted. I wanted my mom. You know?
You know, parents try their best. It's very hard to compensate materials with time.
That's right.
Or materials with attention.
That's right.
And you mentioned a very important thing. We said, you came to the conclusion to get grace.
Yeah.
But I think you gave grace, not obviously for the sake of your parents, but also for the closure of yourself.
Absolutely.
Because you need to give yourself closure and to close that chapter and to allow your parents the peace of mind that my kids have now forgiven me. It's very hard. It's a very long journey to
Yes,
come to.
It is.
So a lot of people do carry that resentments.
Forever. And I always tell people, like clients and even, my kids, I always tell them, don't hold on to anything because it's like dragging around a weight with you.
Yeah.
And if you keep dragging around the weight, you'll notice you're not going anywhere.
Yes.
So it's better to disconnect, allow things to let things go, even if it hurts you or whatever. But forgiveness and just saying, you know what? People make mistakes and it's okay. You just keep going.
Yeah.
You gotta drop the weight,
My father, God rest his soul, he just say to me, Justin, don't show up to someone's house with too much baggage.
Okay.
You know?
Yes.
He said that's not fair to them.
That's right.
They got to bring all that baggage upstairs.
That's right.
Shout out to my dad.
Chef applause.
But that's one profound thing he said. And the other thing is too, the term rahmah in the Quran is one of the most repeated words that shows the grace of God that He will give to His people, right? So if He's giving it to us, why don't we give it to the people closest to us as well? You know what I mean? So thinking of that, yeah. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
It's hard, man.
yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
It's easier said than done now because people that are so resentful and it's much easier to point fingers and but it's very hard.
Yeah.
It's very, very hard.
I want to jump start to college, or the Brits say college, where it's university.
Uni.
Yeah.
Yeah, uni.
Just college style.
Right.
Just college
I
style.
work at a British school, man, so I just
Say uni, bro. Come on.
I can't say college because that's just something different.
In Jersey, brother.
Right. Yeah. So uni.
College, bro, is different.
Yeah.
We say community college.
Right. Yeah. We got different levels of college.
Yeah, levels of college.
Got a college, all right.
Oh man.
13th year, right?
Victory life.
Yes.
Facts. It's actually underrated, by the way. Community college is so much cheaper. No, it's same credit.
Not even same. No, bro. It's
Same credit.
If you're smart, you do 1 year community college, 2 year community college, and your last 2 years you go to uni.
And the transfer is easy as
And you get a
possible.
diploma and a degree.
Yeah.
That's
Come on, yeah.
All right, sorry, it's not an
Sorry,
education podcast.
Sorry.
But I just had to point that out.
It's a guidance counselor program.
Right. Oh, you guys, council, shout out to y'all.
If you're going to America or Canada, let us know.
Let us know. But Montclair State, right? That's where the bachelor's degree was formulated at.
Yeah.
Shout out to Montclair State. You got my sister through university. Shout out to my sister. She's a Montclair State. What's the mascot of Montclair State? I know the colors are red and white.
Red Hawk.
Red Hawk. Yeah. Shout out to Red Hawks.
Yeah.
But Montclair State, yeah.
You didn't think much on this?
The Red Hawk?
I think they did much. Yes.
No.
Maybe.
We weren't even at that level.
No, they're not.
Not.
Oh, you are.
Not that nice in basketball.
Yeah, then there's so
Not in anything. Just
But
like,
I'm cheaper than that.
But it's funny you guys mentioned community college because I did 2 years first.
Where did you go?
I went to Raritan Valley Community College.
Raritan Valley.
Yeah. In Somerset County.
Yes.
Maybe.
No. But I know. I know. It's not much.
Yeah.
Gotta make sure.
But I know it was Mercer County College,
Oh,
community
okay.
college. That's in Mercer County, so yeah. But okay, so talk to us about your university years because I feel like that's the time when people really find out who they are. You're the poorest at this time.
Yeah.
You're hungriest at this time, figuratively and literally.
Yeah, man.
And you're also finding out who you are through you're trying different things.
And
You're experiencing different things. You're meeting different people. So how was that? Was that mostly a positive experience that you say I can glean from?
It was amazing. And even at Raritan, it was a great experience because I really came into understanding who I was, and I didn't feel like I needed people's acceptance. People just accepted me for who I was.
Right.
It was like being able to kind of start over.
Okay.
And that was the wonderful thing. So once I finished there, you go to Montclair, I start over again. And now I can become whoever I want to be. You know, so it was really wonderful. And so I got into student life. I was a resident assistant, then I became a resident manager, and I worked with the Dean of Students office, and I was an ambassador. And so I was like, I wore so many different hats, and I did so many different things. And it was wonderful. I had the greatest experience. I studied abroad. Studied in the UK. I went to Middlesex University in the UK.
Middlesex?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know about that.
Yes, I was on the Golders Green campus. So.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And that was amazing. Then I think I needed like 12 or some odd credits or whatever to graduate once I switched to broadcast journalism. And so then I studied at the University of Siena.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. In Italy.
Okay.
And that was fun. Did that for a summer program. So that was from May into September.
Okay.
So that was fun. So college for me was just like reinventing myself over and over and over again. And I could be wherever I wanted to be. Pledged to sorority. That was...
Oh, can we say that all? Can we say what the silver? Wait, no, that goes there.
I was in a sorority.
Okay, cool.
I might take but I was in a sorority.
Okay, got you.
And it was amazing. That was a great experience. Now that I feel like that moment is the moment that I really and truly learned what like loving yourself really meant.
Okay.
Because this was like the whole point of the process, was to really learn to love yourself and to love those around you and to give, you know, to share and to give and to care for people, to have empathy. And it was an amazing experience, you know. So that was something that helped me grow a lot too.
Italy, was New Jersey pizza better?
No.
It was Italian pizza better.
No, Italian pizza.
Jersey's known for pizza.
Oh yeah. El Bocan?
What?
Jersey's not over pizza.
Oh my God, Mike's in-
Are you American?
Jersey not over pizza.
Are you American?
I am American.
Yeah, American.
I am American, bro.
Don't come in talking about my country. You ain't used to it.
My country.
No, my American.
America.
But the pizza is phenomenal.
Listen, New York is amazing, bro.
So you're saying Italy, you would prefer that much more than New Jersey slice?
You get a whole pie. Like you get like a whole pie.
True.
And everything is so fresh. The sauce is fresh. The
Yeah.
cheese is fresh. The dough was just rolled out before they brought it to you. Like they literally just made it like it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Italy was incredible.
Yeah.
It was beautiful, really. Beautiful country.
So, how did you even like learn about this opportunity? Was it something that they came around and asked you personally, or you kind of stumbled upon something? You're like, hey, we get out of here. Just try something different.
Let's go.
This one's the
And this was still around.
Oh yeah. This was
she's supposed to be actually unique.
she was.
Is she like following? Like, are you calling each other? Like,
This is Jersey.
Yeah.
I know.
So she taught her in middle school. So
Okay.
that's her junior high.
Right.
Then was her tutor.
Got you.
And then I'm assuming still tutoring here till university. And then pushing her along the way.
Well, shout out to Miss
funny.
Wilson.
I know. You know what it was? She was my neighbor.
Oh,
So she lived across the street.
That's all I'm asking.
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you ever watch Boy Meets World? It's like Mr. Feeny.
Mr. Feet. Yeah.
Mr. Feeny.
Classic show.
Classic show.
Classic.
Shout out to Mr. Feeny.
Yeah.
And Mr. Feeny was like basically.
He's a fictional person.
I know.
Man up. He ain't never gonna see this and respond to you.
You never know. Or the actor who plays this
Yeah,
show.
man.
Yeah, actor who plays.
The actor he played there, he should see
Yo,
it.
listen, phenomenal show.
You've seen it.
Boy Meets World. Phenomenal show.
Gotta check it out. Oh, you youngsters, check it out.
Great show.
Yeah.
But basically, Mr. Feeny taught Sean and
Corey.
Yes, sir. Corey and Sean through the whole show.
Oh, yes, he did.
And then was at his wedding as well.
So she advised you. So you would come home and just go right over here and talk with
I
her?
would just go over to Miss Wilson's house.
Because it's not like the age of like smartphones and Zooming and...
No. I would come home from school, and she would be getting home from work, and I'd say, "Hi, Miss Wilson." She'd be like, "How are you? I'm good. You got food? You're hungry?" Yeah, I'm hungry. And I go over to her house, even though my mom had already worked
Right.
and everything. So she had a son. She had two boys, and they would always help me with my brother. So in my block, everybody on that block was like family in Jersey. I had Mrs. Wilson across the street, Mrs. Baker, the Davenports, and another family. And it was just a close-knit family unit. So we all played together kickball, football, soccer, like whatever y'all want to call it, we just all played together, and so I was always at her house, and I would always seek her counsel on many things. If I had an issue with a paper, I didn't understand something, she would help me with it. And so even when I was in college, I still go and see Miss Rosa. And we would sit and talk about life. We talk about borders. We talk about getting married one day. And I'll never forget, one day she took me downstairs of her basement, and she had this thing in this weird writing. And I was like, what is that? She's like, oh, that's from what I studied in Germany. And I said, you studied in Germany? But you're black. She was like, yes, yeah, I studied at university. I was like, so I can go to Germany? Like, I can, do you know what I mean?
Opening doors right there.
Completely opened the door.
Wow.
So when I went to her and said, I want to go study in the UK, she's like, go. First time I ever went to UK, I was 14 actually. I worked the band, that was something different. But then when I said to her, I want to study, she was like, do it. I'll help you get the money, I'll help you. She helped me get a scholarship to be able to go to study in the UK.
It's a world-class you.
He's a
World-class you.
When I tell you, this woman really she was really and truly my everything. And I remember after I had Noor, I took her.
Shout out to Noor in the building. See you back in.
After I had my daughter, I took her to see her and everything, and she was so happy for me. But then she butted up. She's getting older. She was diabetic. And I'll never forget, Noor was just all over the bed with her. Like, she was just in the bed, playing with her, touching her, like poking her in the face and everything. She didn't know any better. So it was a little bit, Miss Wilson was so happy. She was so happy.
almost like her granddaughter.
Yeah.
So she was the expat sis.
Yeah.
She was over in Germany.
Yeah.
So how long did she stay? Was it just for university or did
I think she only did it as a study abroad. So I think she did it for like 1 year.
Okay, she was still there.
Yeah, but
So she know German as well?
yeah. She spoke beautiful German.
She's mythical. She's like mythical. I don't know.
This woman was everything. Really, this woman, her boys, I felt like were so lucky. And I always felt like, God, I wish she was my mom, I didn't, it's so funny because I wanted her so much to be my mom that's why I spent so much time with her. I was starving for that attention. She always gave it to me. She always gave me her time.
Okay.
I'd fall asleep at her floor sometimes.
That's real.
It's called, it's clear by the way you speak that Miss Wilson, bless her soul, is the one that like ignited your passion to travel.
Yeah.
And many other things too, like to reinvent yourself, and no matter what you are you, and a lot of big hands. Did you ever see yourself to travel, to go to where you've been to?
Yeah, no. I mean, it's so funny because sometimes I wish I could tell her, oh, guess what I did? Guess what I saw? But she was really proud of me for traveling and everything. She said, good for you. I was like, yeah, I'm going to Italy this summer, She was just so happy for me, always really, really happy for me. And I think once I traveled, the one time I had the bug forever. There was no way the U.S. would be okay for me to just be still. I couldn't just be still anymore. I had to go, So it's common.
So when you graduated from university, what was the plan? What did you set out to do?
Okay, so when I finally graduated, my plan was to become a teacher. And they had this hologram, Japanese exchange.
Also, she put there in Scarlet. Yeah. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I was working in television. I had gotten jobs in television. I did talk shows and all that stuff. Then I started working in news, and I just felt like there was a calling for me. I needed to travel. I need to get out of here. And someone told me about the JET program, which is a Japanese exchange teaching program. I heard about it. So I signed up for it. I think it's still
is, yeah.
You do 2 years.
Yeah.
You have to go to California for, I had to go for 18 months. And then after that, you go for 2 years. You get extended for 3. I reached out to some other, Black females who I knew were doing it and talked to them. How is it? Is there any racism? What is it like? And they were like, oh, it's a little bit of racism, but it doesn't matter. You're going to enjoy it. The kids are wonderful. You'd have a good time. It's a great experience. So I was set. I was like, this is it. I did my application. Everything was wonderful.
It's the night. It's the night, doesn't it? No.
Well, she about to drop something.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the bomb to drop.
I need the drum.
Yeah.
Look at the drum, you know?
Deep breath.
Right, she's like, and she went back too, like,
She's like, you boys ready? You boys ready for this one?
I need some drums. The drums at.
I got married.
Okay. That was stop it.
Yeah, I honestly I wasn't expecting that. I really didn't see it coming. I mean, I love this person who was wonderful, but for me, it was just my best friends. And we got along really well. And, and then I said, okay, fine, we'll get married. And he's like, but you can still do the jet program. I could come with you and this and the other. But, of course, none of that happened because, life happens.
Yeah, such a decent life happens.
Life happens.
Yeah, that explains everything.
Yeah.
What happened? I'm curious. What happened in life?
He had finished college.
Okay.
Because he was younger than me, a lot younger than me. A little.
Okay.
And then after he finished, well, actually before he even finished college, like 3 years later, we had more finished. So, and then, and then that's it. It's like, I have to be content. This is it. And the thing was that he was a travel bug like me. So we were going to Mexico, we were going to the Caribbean, we were always traveling. Or we would go to Egypt for Oman.
Yes.
So, it was like, we're still traveling. So it was fun.
Yeah.
I don't have to be a teacher. I don't want to be a teacher. I like broadcast journalism. I make really good money. Well, I thought I'm like,
Right.
That was a dream when you have nothing.
Right.
Now I have everything.
Yeah. A lot going on, right?
Everything is there,
Mm-hmm.
So
How was the travel like to other countries? Now that you had that travel bug and you're actually exercising, your ability to do that.
yeah,
Did you see the world differently from what you read in textbooks?
yeah. Wait,
What you saw on TV?
I literally threw away the I can't go anywhere because I'm black type thing out of my head.
Oh,
Because my mom would always say to me, but you can't go with it. They don't like that.
Yeah.
Especially when I wanted to go to UK. She was fine. Like,
Are you crazy?
Are you crazy?
That
I was like, you can't go over there.
You go there, everyone's like,
Right.
I was like, oh,
Hey, how you doing? Right.
You go to Brixton.
Right. Brixton.
Brixton.
Tell him. I'm out there.
Try to
Right.
seal the RVs.
Right.
it was fantastic, and there was it was great. I lived with a white family, and they were fantastic to me, and it was like, what is our problem? I'm like, Mom, you gotta stop with you can't go to Italy. No, they don't like black people over there. That's the only thing my mother would ever say. Even when I said, Mom, we want to eat it, she's this girl. She go for my auntie, this girl, she just don't understand. They don't like black people over there.
But
I said, Mom, but it's African.
right. But that's the time. That's really the time because you only know what you know. So you're getting bombarded in America about your race.
Yes.
And you're just trying to protect your child.
Yes.
You just want your child to come back home.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
she would be on the phone crying, are you okay?
Right.
I'm like, Mom, I'm fine. I haven't heard from you in 2 weeks. I was like, oh, Mom was partying. It's okay. I'm okay. Don't worry. Okay. But everything for her because she grew up in a time when whites lived over here, blacks lived over here, and you had to know your place. So,
Yes, it's crazy. So there's still some places that still live like that, where it's separated, bro.
yeah.
Safety,
it's different now though, because
social media.
you hear a lot of stories about.
On your phone, you see that.
But the thing is that what really makes me upset, like you see sometimes in America that they have experiments about this where buying a house and selling a house. So I can't keep my pictures up there because now they know I'm a black family that may devalue the sale of the house.
Exactly.
But then one family did an experiment with an agent. They said, can we just put, a white family in the home? And that house sold at a higher price because they had to do that. Just imagine that. Because before they were getting no takers, things like that. But they did that. They got the little bit more than what they wanted.
It's insane.
So,
It's insane.
yeah, that's America for you, a little capsule, not everywhere, but it still happens in different ways now. It's not it was very upfront back then during the parents' time, very upfront,
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's just into your face.
But there's still some things that there's certain still like the Jim Crow rules and all this. It's still happening, but just in different categories. Yeah, during
gerrymandering.
I'm into the state, man. So America is still America. Certain states.
Still America.
And America is still America.
Absolutely.
You mentioned, I like that. You mentioned a very profound line. You had all these plans, right? You said, I'm gonna go to Japan. I'm gonna go, go here, go to California, get things straight. Then life happened, and that's every human. Life happens. You didn't expect to get married, but it happened, and by the blessing of Allah.
Right.
Yes.
Who knew what awaited you in Japan? It was good for you, it was bad for you.
That's right.
So at what point did you? Obviously, I'm guessing there's moments of regrets. In the moments, you're like, oh, I had Japan ready. I was gonna do this. I was like, that we're good to go. But then, like, why did I? So when you were living life, or when life was happening, did regret creep into you? Where you're like, I could have done so much for this teaching that I was planning for.
No, I don't. So, I am a real true believer in faith, and I really truly trust God's plan for me, whatever that is. I can plan all I want to. He has total control over the outcome.
Absolutely.
So I don't look back at anything and think, oh, I wish I had. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I wonder where I would be if. But there's no regret that I didn't, because life moves in a way and you go with it.
Correct.
And I'm thankful for the blessings that I have, for the lessons that I've learned, for the pain that I've suffered, for everything. Because it makes me who I am now. So it would be really cool though. Like, I'm here thinking now, like at this age, oh, what can I do it now?
So I was going to ask you, did you get to Japan at some point?
No, we haven't. I've been there.
But it's on your list.
It's on my list. It's on my list without my kids though, because that's too expensive.
It is. It's an expensive trip, but
These kids. But aren't you what you got?
I was.
Oh, you
I heard about these earthquakes and things.
I told you,
Yeah.
Japan on a daily basis, they're earthquakes.
Yeah.
They're built for it, by the way.
Yeah.
Like all their buildings can handle like 5 on the earthquake scale. Like they're built for it.
Yeah, we definitely won't go. I just think right now we'll probably hit probably Africa there. Probably
That's what I'm saying.
switch it up a little bit.
Back home,
Yeah, of course. I know I'm a little lighter than most, but so
Okay, boy.
I'm from the mother.
You could be Somali, bro. Don't worry about it. Since you in
I
Ain't
love Somali people.
I know you do.
Love the food.
I know you
people.
do. Shout out Somali.
I love the language. The most about I love the Somali.
You got the funniest language.
The language is amazing, and the nicknames they give each other. Everybody has a nickname. Everybody, I don't know anyone's real name. I have no clue who everyone's real name is. I only know yours. That's it. And everybody else, I'm like, oh, you're who?
Fun fact.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Somalis, every Somali has a nickname.
Yeah.
So we don't ever give our government names.
Really?
You don't ever.
Never really heard this.
So we all have big names.
Yeah.
So what's your nickname?
I call it AB.
Same
Yeah.
Okay.
But in every Somali household, like we have a lot of like Abdul somethings.
Yes.
Okay.
So Abdullahis, Abdurrahman,
Yeah.
like Somalis are like every household has at least 2 Abduls.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
It's like we love to give that name to our kids. It's so far.
Yeah.
It's a cultural thing.
Facts.
And then also Islamic as well, but yes,
Yeah.
cultural actually as well.
Shout out to Somali.
Yeah.
That sounds like us on the South. He's like, my name is Ophelia, but they call me Fifi, so everybody got a nickname.
Yeah. See,
Or
exactly.
Phoebe, yeah, that's like you.
All of us are exactly.
You would never know, like.
Yeah, shout out to Somali, shout out to Somali, man. Shout out to everybody, man. Everybody doing Bill. So let's get back to these changes that are happening in life. Is there a point that was a turning point in your life where you kind of really said, this is me. This is who I am now? Because at some point you're just going through life, you're trying to figure out, like, what do I stand for? What are my values? What am I doing consistently? But then it hits you at one point. You realize either it's an event, something happened, or you just feel comfortable at that moment in life. So what happened for you to realize, hey, this is who Ophelia is, and I'm proud to be that person?
Yeah. When I got divorced.
Okay.
I had to do a lot of soul searching and had to really reconnect with the younger version of me, because that was the happiest version. And so when you reconnect with the younger version of you, you find your happy place and you start to learn what your joy is. Where do I find my joy? What do I find my joy in? And I realized that at that point in my life, my happy place was helping people, doing things for people.
Good.
You know, and so I reconnected with my younger self and told her, it's okay, don't worry. You feel abandoned now. You felt abandoned before, but you're going to be okay. And so I always tell people when they're struggling to do something, is to always try to remember that moment in your life when you were the happiest. It could be anything. Because when you go back to that moment, you start to realize and look at life a whole lot differently. All the things that seem to matter don't matter really that much anymore. Because you can find your happy place, your place of peace. And that's really where you want to go to. And so I needed to dig really deep to go back to that place in my life where I could be happy again, I could be at peace. But in order to do that, I had to find what I call the 3 Ps. Okay, so the 3 Ps are basically, what's my passion? And then my passion drives my purpose. And then my purpose drives my peace.
That's deep.
And once I flip that out,
Hey, y'all better get y'all notepad out. She dropping bars, man.
Drop a whole lesson in 3 days.
Right? What they call it when you use like this? Is alliteration?
Alliteration.
Yes.
You know? Like,
Same letter 3 times.
come on, man. She dropping bars, right? Get y'all fists out, man.
yeah,
Figure of speech.
Facts.
yeah.
That's what it is.
That's really what it is. And so I would tell anyone who's going through something is, instead of externalizing that pain, instead of saying this person did this to me, now you need to look at it and say, what can I do to fix what's inside of me? Because there's no fixing the other person. There's no making it better or anything. It's stop preaching what's going on with inside you, so you don't repeat the same patterns. So my turning point in my life was that divorce, and I am so grateful. Some people are like, so sorry you had to go. No. Don't be sorry.
Addition by subtraction.
Yes.
That's what happens.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Yep. That's right. I love that.
Am I true?
No,
I love that.
I don't know.
You know,
That's right.
you know, I was watching. Speaking of, well, not only divorce, but any issue in life, whether it's a passing of a
Yes.
parent or
Yeah.
any, you know, life is so
Black transition.
yes,
Yes.
life is so simple, but it's so complicated at times. And I want to take your pick your brain about this.
Yeah.
The idea of ruining and when you imprison yourself like a caged bird, and how would you, because obviously you're in that space and you are your worst enemy, so how did you escape rumination?
Yeah, you have to stop playing the movie in their head. That movie of victim, the movie of why do I keep getting myself into this situation? The movie of, oh, this is my fault, or what could I have done better, or this, that, and the other. You have to stop. You have to, like, literally, you have to sit in silence. Sometimes just sit, rewire your brain and the way you think. And so instead of saying, like I said, it's all about letting go of external factors.
Yeah.
People may not be the best people, but they are who they are. You will never change that, and you can't fix that. But what you can do is look within, you fix within. Because what happens is, a lot of times someone will break up, and like you said, they're turning inward and their mind is working, and the only thing they want to do is they want to turn off their mind. And they think by turning off their mind, it means filling a hole or a gap or a void.
Yes.
And so you turn to something else to fill that hole, that gap. But that's never going to fill it. You have to fill that with your own presence. Be present for yourself. You have to be present for yourself. And in order to do that, you have to allow yourself to just be silent. Just be silent.
Still.
Be still. Yeah, just be. I just sat still. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I should cough this way, but so it's something, bro. It's called, you know, would be like, oh, you wanna, you at the bush, you can come over and be with us. I don't need to be with you. I don't want your separately. I need to be alone. I need to digest everything, and I need to figure out what is my next move and where am I going. this is the mess of
That's heavy. That's really.
there's no point in blaming him out. Yes, I was very angry, but and at some point I realized that anger was killing me. It's not hurting him. For him, it was funny.
Yeah.
But for me, it was hurting me, and it's hurting my children. It was, I have to put a shield around them to protect them, and their well-being. I have to be strong for them, and allow myself to feel what I'm feeling. And so sometimes I will tell a client, you need to learn how to sit in your feelings, right? So I need you just to, whatever it is you're feeling, happiness, sadness, anger, frustration, sit in it. That doesn't mean allow it to take you over. It just means to sit in it, feel it, and understand, why do I feel this way, without blame. And without trying to say, oh, what can I do to fix this feeling? Don't fix the feeling, just allow it. And then once you allow it, like I tell Neuroton, I got so angry, and okay, no, I'm not angry. Why am I really angry? What's really going on with me? And it's okay to talk to yourself. Because the better you're talking to yourself than talking to somebody else, to say, it's okay, don't be mad, da da da. Your friends can't do anything for you. You have to do everything by yourself. That's just a solo journey.
Absolutely.
Solo journey.
That's a sobering reality.
Yeah, it's not even sobering. It's a very gut-wrenching reality.
It is.
Because when you understand that you can only solve your issues, then it's life.
Yeah.
Because
It's a man. Yeah.
So I was going to ask you, as a life transition coach, right? Is there like a pressure to feel that your life is on 100, it's perfect? Because I've seen people tear down life coaches or life transition coaches when they go through something. See, they're not perfect. Why are you following them? I've seen it happen multiple times. So do you feel that same pressure as well? And how do you deal with that? Are you raw and authentic with people? Do you show them what's happening, or what's your approach to that?
I don't really care what anybody thinks about me. I'm human. I still have emotional breakdowns. I still had issues. I still have things that I'm working through. But I also know how to deal with that. Do you know how to deal with it? Well, how are you dealing with it? How are you dealing with the emotional toll that's taking on you? I know how to do that because I am a coach. I know how to help you through what you're going through. And I also had a coach, because sometimes I can't coach myself. I need someone to coach me. Do you know?
I asked a funny question. I said, who's the psychiatrist?
Yeah, who they go to?
So who does they go to?
Yeah,
everyone nowadays is trauma dumping. So who does that go to, or girl go to when she gets too much trauma dumped on?
Yeah.
Is it like a chain of reaction?
Yeah, I mean, listen, when I walk out, for me, I'm defined, I walk out. I'm not taking their stuff with me. I leave it right there. Sometimes it's harder when it's grief and I'm dealing with someone who has lost someone, because I feel that pain that they feel as if I just lost my mom. So I know what that feels like. And I can't cry in front of them because I need to let them have that space. So sometimes I will leave and I'll have a moment because it brought up something for me. One time we were talking, they felt guilty, and I remember I couldn't talk about my experience, but I asked them to go through this experience of understanding why they feel guilty. And they said a couple things and it hit me, and I was like, oh, I know how that feels. And I had a moment when I was in the car because I remember feeling guilty, because I felt like I didn't make the right decision, but that was the only decision to make. So, I had my moment and that's it.
Yeah.
But when I walk away from a client, that's it. I'm going to go home and I'm going to make dinner for my kids, and I'm going to,
The appearance. Be present.
be present.
Yeah. It's funny. I like how you separate your work life and who you are, your real life. A lot of people don't know how to do that because they who they are at work is who they are at home, and they take work home, or they take that persona home.
What?
How do you wear so many hats and juggle so many things and code switch?
Very good question.
Like, how do you code? That's the biggest thing. How do you code switch?
What you said, by the way?
Yeah, about
that.
like
That's melanated people.
As people of tint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So code switching is, since your Florida days, and code switching, but it's got better.
So I would say for a young person, because see, once you hit a certain age, I'm 51 now. I'm not cool switching for anybody. I'm gonna say whatever I have to say. You know, like it, that's up to you. I'm gonna speak my piece, and this goes for anyone. Whether it's my boss or whatever. Of course, I'm gentle with nerves.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, no, I think I'm not doing any of that anymore because I am who I am, and you will either accept it or whatever, and it's cool with me. I'm alright.
It is what it is.
But for younger people, what I would say is it's okay to wear different hats. But it's also really important to, once you take the hat off, you allow yourself to be who you are. And you have to find your people, your tribe, where you feel comfortable being you. This needs your wife, your kids. Like if I go home to my husband and I can't be me because he wants me to be something else, that is not my person. Okay?
Even now.
You should be able to be who you are the moment you walk through your door, you know?
Facts.
My kids think I'm crazy, and that's fine, because I'm going to sing and act silly and do whatever I want to do, and sometimes I'm going to be really quiet, and sometimes I'm thinking, or I'm busy, or I'm studying, or whatever, but I would say it's okay to code switch, and it's okay to wear all your different hats, but at the end of the day, allow certain people to understand who you are.
I agree.
And that just simply means protect your boundaries. Always protect your boundaries. Never let I can't say this on camera on the thing, but just imagine a house with a fence. And you have this beautifully manicured lawn. Okay. Are you gonna let anybody just come in and squat on your lawn?
No, absolutely not.
Protect your boundaries.
Yeah.
In the words of Luke saying,
Yeah.
protect your peace.
Yeah.
That's right.
Protect your neck.
Protect your neck.
That's right.
Protect your neck.
Protect your neck.
Yeah.
So this is it's gonna sound like a weird question, but walk with me on this. Walk with me on this. Right? It's gonna sound weird.
It's a journey.
He's worried.
I'm not worried. Oh, I'm not worried. Man.
He's like, guys, edit this out.
As a matter of fact,
Yeah, it's just weird. But have you felt like, as being a life transition coach, has made you a better parent?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because I see in my kids now when there's something wrong, I see them.
Oh.
I see them,
Yeah.
you know? So if someone's having a bad day, I could look in their face and tell something's happened. Here's how I deal with that though. I will usually say, "Are you okay?" And they'll say, "No, I'm fine." I'm fine. When you're ready to talk about it, I'll be. That's it. And I leave it. Because I'm going to protect my peace from them as well.
yeah.
I cannot allow my children and my job and everybody to infiltrate. No. When you need me, I'm here. You want to talk about it? I'm here. I'm here to listen, to offer a solution. I'm here to help you figure out a solution because I am big on making them think freely when it comes to their life. I always tell them I'm not going to be here forever. I need you to be able to think and do for yourself. This is my goal when it comes to like this. Have to. Do this. I don't know what tomorrow is. Inshallah, I'm here until they're old and wrinkled and whatever, but I don't know. So until then, we're going to pretend like every day is a blessing and every day we're taking one day at a time, one step at a time, and you need me, I'm here.
Can I say this before she goes into...
By the way, that question isn't bad.
And what's really good...
That's a question. I don't know why you give a head.
Because some people may not like make the connection.
No, that was a great question.
So I was kind of just curious about that.
I thought you knew like left.
No, you don't. I'm kind of the middle ground. Yeah.
I will.
You might be more prone.
I go off 10
No, but I have to say this as well. I know your kids decently well, and I can see the work emanate through them and how they carry themselves. And so when you're saying this, I'm hearing it 100%. I'm feeling 100% because I see how they are. And I'll tell you this before. they're above some of the stuff of their age. They're not even worried about, you know.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like they're just like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. That's not even. I'm not even worried about what you're worried about.
Yeah.
At the same, or what their peers are worried about.
Yeah.
So I see that in them, and it's like the maturity is there. So mashallah, I would say that it is emanating because we could be millionaires, billionaires, but if we're bad parents, it doesn't.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Nobody's gonna judge you on I'm a millionaire or billionaire. They will judge you how your kids turn out. They will for sure do that. So it's like, yeah, you know.
I always say, you know, God gave me exactly what I needed to do what I need to do. You know, as I said earlier, you don't know what path you're gonna go on. People direct your path, and so whatever path He takes you on, He gives you exactly what you need to get through it. And I am so blessed with my kids because they are strong, they're resilient, they are hardworking. I don't have to bother them too much about homework. Sometimes I feel sorry for them to sit up till 11 o'clock at night, but they want to get it done. Or they don't want to, and they are stressing out because they're not going to be able to stand this, you know. And I always tell them, listen, I'm never going to pressure you about grades, but I just want you to do your best. So just do your best. If you get a bad grade, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Just do your best. There's no need to go crazy. Just give it your all. Whatever that is, just give it into that work. As you would a video game.
You know, I do like to the video game.
Yeah. So I am blessed. I'm really blessed. This I could not do what I do without them. You know, I have my job as a journalist. I am a life coach, and now I'm going back to school to be a doula.
How was the? Yeah, that's.
How do you manage all
Yeah,
this?
I was gonna go in a totally different direction. Then she just dropped.
No,
that.
she's dropped it. I just knew the life coach, but you have to do it. Whoa, let's bring that back.
Can you explain what a doula is for anyone who doesn't understand what?
So a doula is someone who helps couples as they go through the journey of being parents. Yeah, so from start to finish, I work with them. We're gonna very
good. Fantastic. So okay, Nat. Obviously, as a life coach, I know you deal with a lot of marital issues, and nowadays, obviously, we're not back on a podcast, but like, it's Islamically, marriage is very important. Marriage is half the foundation, half the deen.
Yeah.
It's not the foundation, but half the deen is marriage.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because, and I always tell this guy, we are encouraged to get married, but we're not taught how to retain our marriage.
Yeah.
You've been through it, you've seen it, and now you're helping couples that are now you give me a doula now, inshallah. Let's send to the doula. But you've seen the end results of people splitting up. How do you deal with that? Like how do you tell people the flaws of this or the flaws in the because typically two people are coming together with no background, and marriage is the only thing that we don't go to school for. But yet we're told to like, all right, guys, let's get married.
And who knows what we saw?
Let's get his examples.
They don't know what to do.
But it's so what is it that you tell them, or like how you go through that now?
First, I always tell people I do not advocate for divorce. I believe that if you love someone at one point, you can find that love again. But you have to be willing to go there. You both. So it's not a one person or one-sided thing. It has to be as a couple that you come together to get both.
Team efforts.
It has to be that way. Because how you see something is not how they're going to see it. What I also say is when there's an issue, one of you has to be able to de-escalate. And that means allow the other person their say. If people on the same age and they're both yelling at each other and they're going crazy, you're not going to get anywhere. You have to learn, people in general have to learn how to speak to each other from the heart. You have to be able to sit and have a conversation. It's not just the conversation. You have to have comprehension.
Sure.
You have to
And compassion.
add compassion. The receipts, you know, this person you love them, or maybe so let's say you know it's an arranged marriage and you know you don't really know each other. You really have to take time to get to know each other. So I don't give advice, but I just speaking to you gentlemen, what I would say is don't have a baby right away. Give yourselves time to really connect and to really get to know each other and see what you like, what you don't like. The thing is that I think people are so quick to say, I don't like this about this person, or this makes me angry, or whatever, instead of trying to understand them a little bit better. No one is going to be your 100%.
Absolutely.
It's never going to happen. But there's some things that you can deal with, and some things maybe you can't deal with. And so that you have to know enough about yourself to know what I can deal with and what I can't deal with. Look, if I believe in this, I let people do whatever they want to do. You go, you want to do what you want to do, enjoy your life. Like, you want to go hang out with your friends, want to do your podcast again, that's awesome, have fun with it, you know? And you let them go and do what makes them happy. Let them do what makes them happy, as long as it's not something that's, you know, way to the right.
Take a break on the dean, you know.
But allow people to be who they are naturally. Even for the wife, allow her to be who she wants to be. Allow her to experience life, you know. You just have to let people be.
Yeah. You know, I would say that I don't talk much about like my personal life, but I would say like shout out to my wife, because one of the things that I understood from her, because she's so smart, she said this, mashallah, she said, there's so many things I don't say because I love you and I want you to be you.
That's yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So sometimes I'll be quick to say something, but she's like, I'm not worried about that. I'm not tripping off of that. She's like, you know, we can all talk about different things that, you know, we're not like this and that, but the whole package, that's what I, you know, that's what I love. That's what I'm here for every day. So I'm paraphrasing what she said, but that made me really think about like, let me shut my mouth up a little bit. Let me just be and live and let her live.
Yeah.
You know?
Because it's just going to be some things that might annoy you, but it's just an annoyance. I mean,
yeah.
So usually I'm only dealing with one, not both. But what I usually do, if I have two, and I have had two, I'm always like, okay, are you listening to what this person say? What did they say? Can you tell them how you interpreted what they said? And then I said, well, what I'm hearing is blah, 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 blah. Okay, is that what you meant? No, that's not what I meant. What I was trying to say is this. And so it's just a matter of breaking through the shell of understanding, because everyone takes things in the wrong way sometimes, and they don't mean to, but it just comes off, and it's a lot of back and forth. That one is draining. Like those sessions are really draining. When it's one-on-one and it's one person, I try to get them not to talk about the other person, because now you're putting the focus on the external and not going to talk about
Yeah.
you know.
I feel I need you know, long couches they be having.
I need that. So this
Like, well, doctor,
I know that.
yeah, the other day,
Tell me how you feel.
right? I feel like I need to. Hey,
What's happening? What's happening?
Yeah. Well, you could ask me.
Well, the other day, Janice recharge, just keep on talking to me.
Right. I don't know why she kept talking to me.
Just kept on going.
You know, it just has so much in my life really to do. That's it.
No, but it's crazy now.
No, that's wonderful.
I hope I answered your question.
No, you answered both my questions.
Yeah.
It's human, like you said, human dynamics is such interesting.
It is.
And people just, you know, people listen, they don't hear you.
That's right.
Shoot.
You know what I'm saying?
Happens a lot.
It happens a lot.
Happens.
And people just respond for the sake of responding, not for the sake of understanding.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get the last word in, but because I feel like it. And because I'm the man and you're the woman, there has to be some kind of like me versus her versus me. It's very interesting, and I just feel like a lot of people fall into this kind of like trap.
Yeah. Just it's really difficult to like, you just see so much, like it's I don't know what's happened. I feel like something's happening and people are so quick to just say this is over, I want a divorce. Instead of really trying to just work through it and figure it out and say, well, what do I need from you? What do you need from me? How can I support you? How can we support me? How can we support each other? Especially when there's kids involved. You can't, the kids they need their foundation. You really do. They need their house. They need the foundation. Yeah, I really, like I said, I don't advocate for divorce, especially if there's kids involved. I just don't. You know, unless the person's like, I just don't want you anymore, then you gotta go and that's it. And then you just try to build a newer foundation. Might not be completely solid, but there's a newer foundation. Kids are gonna be okay, and you just do what you got to.
I got a question on something. How was those classes that you had taken at Yale University? Talk to me about that experience. So Yale is not an easy school to pass anything. So how was that experience?
What's a good answer?
Yeah, or the kids.
Shout out to you.
No, luckily it was just classes. Like it wasn't. I didn't have to apply all that stuff. I just said I'm gonna take these courses, and so you just sign up. You pay the money. You take the courses if it's fun. Yeah, like it's what I loved about the courses. I took two. So I took one in emotional intelligence, and I took another one that's like science and well-being. So it's all part of Yale University's like Emotional Intelligence Institute. Like they're really trying to drive home this thing between parents and students of helping people emotionally regulate things like that, which I think is fantastic. So I love that. I'm actually signed up for another post with you. But because it's just so interesting, and I want to, like, I need to, I love this stuff.
Yes.
Anyway, it was really interesting. What I love the most is that you have like these classes of young people who are so curious about life and about things and their questions and their answers. And you're sitting there as an older person and you're just like, oh, I don't know. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Like it's amazing. Like the classes, the teachers, the knowledge, the resources that they give you.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Unreal.
Could imagine.
I mean, unreal. You're always like, oh, I can go and I can read this, or maybe I can take a class with this professor because they said this, or, you know, they give you really great resources to find the statistics, the studies, the everything. So you really find yourself very, very much engaged. And so you get to a part you're like, wow, I don't understand it. I really understand this now. Like I get it now. I didn't, you know, I thought this was going to be like a little Mickey Mouse type thing because it's online. No. And you have quizzes and exams and you have to get above an 85 and it's just like, oh my God. It was intense, but it was real good. It was real good. Yeah.
You got one more? Because, yeah, I'll stop this talk. Yeah. Last question. The most important question, if anyone wanted to find you, see what your work is about, how do you work with people, where can they find you?
I mean, I'm on Instagram.
Okay.
Get grounded, I think, _Ophelia.
Okay.
But you just type in get grounded and it'll say Ophelia.
Yes?
So they can go there, they can all send their message.
Okay. Inshallah. Yeah, inshallah.
And I'm also part of the Inspire Era. Which is an organization I have, but this is Spark Era. So we do a lot of workshops for women. Like we had one coming up May 17th. And that one is a Who Am I? You know, it's looking at going back and understanding this. We're gonna listen to some music. What was your favorite song when you were in your 20s? And but it's like really encompassing and allowing women, because we mostly work with women. I like personally working with men because I feel like you can build a woman up, you can empower her, you can inspire her. But when she goes home, when she go to the same thing, do you know what I mean? So I personally prefer working with men because I feel like men need a voice too, and they need to be heard. And they need a place where they can have their say. You don't have to suck it up anymore, guys. You don't have to. You're gonna be okay. You're bad. Be strong. Don't cry. No, it's okay. You can cry with me. You can talk to me. You can be free with me. There's no judgment. There's no nothing. I'm just here to listen. I prefer working with them. I think it's time that we build up our men. We make them stronger. And the thing is that strength is not about how strong you are. Right. Strength is about how vulnerable you can.
Yes, but without being judged.
Without being taught this different in your own.
So I think men, especially now, proper men's spaces, proper
Yeah,
acknowledgement is very much needed.
it is.
Not asking for much, but I see you.
I see you. I see what you.
I see you.
I appreciate that.
That's it. It's
Appreciate
I see you and I unique into you.
Yes.
Those two things, you could build an empire.
That's right.
That's it.
Together.
Two simple statements.
Yes.
If a man knows he could appreciate it, he'll run through that wall for everybody.
Because by society standards, it's how men are built.
That's right.
But if they get acknowledged, I see you, I feel you, I hear you.
Yeah. There's nothing they wouldn't do.
That's it. That's it.
I'm limited.
I'm limited.
Yes.
On the cheat codes.
This is so important. It's quite, you know.
But it goes back to what I said before. It goes back to communication.
Yes.
So, because both, and I think we're getting confused with communication, with connection, or with comprehension. You know, all these mixed signals.
Oh my God. That'll be the soul connection. That's bull.
That's
That's episode 2.
part 2.
Part 2 is coming, guys.
No, but we really had a great time with you.
This was fun.
Effortless.
Yeah.
You know.
So we actually went off script.
Yeah, we all these questions I had on this phone.
At some
didn't happen.
point, I was like,
Yeah.
we go in there, guys.
I told you that was gonna happen anyway. I was like, man, I don't ask.
Yeah, I don't want to know any questions. You just shoot and I will fire them.
No, this guy gave me a bunch of questions, and I'm like, you know what?
They give you
It's so candid, guys.
Right.
It's okay. Off script it is.
Yeah, we have a certain process we follow, and we have a list of questions and things. So, but this one, me and him didn't need it.
was fluid.
So that's a really good sign. Thank you. Do you have fun?
This was amazing. I had so
You
much
have fun?
fun with you guys. Yes, I enjoyed.
We appreciate it so much.
Nora, thank you for being so nice and quiet in the background. Did you have fun? Did you enjoy the experience? Alright, she's off camera, but she did.
Being available.
Yeah. No AI, she's really there. You know.
Fish comes in.
Yeah.